Welcome back to Kleppers Corner. Today in history. September 13th. You'd think it'd just be another day where pumpkin spice lattes go back on the shelves and you start wondering why your neighbors already put up Halloween decorations. But no, September 13th is basically history's mixtape, full of battles, betrayals, peace handshakes that don't stick, and yes, an Italian plumber in overalls who became more famous than Mickey Mouse. So buckle in. Today's history isn't just a highlight reel. It's like Netflix dropped a season of humanity's greatest hits and bloopers all at once. Let's get into it. Segment 1, The Plains of Abraham, a 15-minute world makeover. September 13th, 1759, the Battle of the Plains of Abraham. This was a short but decisive fight between the British and French outside Quebec City. And when I say short, I mean it lasted 15 minutes. That's less time than it takes to get through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru on a Sunday. Oh wait, they're closed. Even better example, the French Empire basically lost Canada in less time than it takes your uncle to explain why he still thinks VHS tapes are better than Netflix. General James Wolfe led the British, and though he died in the battle, he got to be remembered as the guy who took Canada by speed-running war like it was a Mario level. The French commander, Montcalm, also died, proving this was the 18th century version of everybody loses, but Britain still claims victory. The result? British dominance in North America and the groundwork for Canada to be that polite neighbor who still judges us for health care. Segment 2, Star-Spangled Bombs Bursting in Air. Jump forward to September 13th, 1814, the Battle of Fort McHenry. The British bombed the fort all night, but by dawn, the American flag was still waving, inspiring Francis Scott Key to scribble the poem that became the Star-Spangled Banner. Patriotism, inspiration, and a tune borrowed from a British drinking song. Because nothing says freedom like belting out your anthem to the same melody British guys used while hammered on gin. But here's the kicker. Francis Scott Key wrote Land of the Free while he was a slave owner. Imagine belting that line knowing your neighbor's chained in your backyard. That's like Elon Musk tweeting about affordable housing while charging people $44 billion for Twitter. It's America in a nutshell. Aspiration meets hypocrisy, wrapped in fireworks. Segment 3, The Halls of Montezuma. September 13th, 1847. The U.S. captures Chapultepec Castle in Mexico City during the Mexican-American War. This was the moment that gave us the line from the Halls of Montezuma in the Marine Corps hymn. Marines fought bravely, but about 90% of them were killed or wounded, which is a bloodbath even HBO would say is too much for prime time. The legacy? A red stripe on Marine dress trousers to honor the blood shed. The irony? Americans today can't even agree on wearing masks. But back then, they bled out on castle steps so future Marines could cosplay patriotism at parades. Oh, and for Mexico, this was just one chapter in a long series of U.S. knocks politely, then breaks down the door. Segment 4, Attica, Attica. On September 13th, 1971, the Attica prison uprising ended in New York. After 5 days of negotiation, state troopers stormed the facility. 43 people died. It's one of those moments where America's commitment to law and order came at the expense of literally everything else. Attica became shorthand for prison reform, or more accurately, the lack of it. Politicians got real good at saying never again, and then promptly did it again, just with shinier riot gear. The fact that this happened in the so-called land of freedom shows how thin that freedom was stretched if you were poor, brown, or stuck behind bars. Justice for all, except the people the system already decided don't count. Segment 5, Handshakes and Hope, Oslo Accords. September 13th, 1993. The Oslo Accords. Israel and the PLO signed an agreement on the White House lawn, shook hands, and for one fleeting moment, peace seemed possible. Bill Clinton stood in the middle, basically saying, look, I made divorced parents talk at Thanksgiving. And yet, 30 years later, that handshake aged about as well as milk left in a hot car. Rabin was assassinated, Arafat died under mysterious circumstances, and settlements expanded faster than Starbucks locations. It's a perfect symbol of diplomacy. Great photo op, terrible follow-through. Like when Congress promises to fix health care and then spends 6 months debating the proper font for the bill. Segment 6, Super Mario Saves the World. September 13th, 1985. Super Mario Bros. Hits Japan. And just like that, a plumber in overalls saved the entire video game industry. Forget Napoleon or Churchill. Mario is history's greatest strategist. The game invented side-scrolling, power-ups, and arguably child neglect. Because once that cartridge hit your NES, you weren't leaving your room. By 1990, Mario was more recognizable to kids than Mickey Mouse. That's right, Disney's squeaky rodent got outplumbed by an Italian guy yelling, "Mamma mia!" Today, Mario's still everywhere. Video games, movies, clothing collabs. Honestly, if Mario ran for office, he'd probably win. And unlike most politicians, at least we know he can actually fix pipes. Segment 7, Tupac Shakur, a legacy larger than life. September 13th, 1996, the death of Tupac Shakur. Shot in Las Vegas at just 25 years old, his murder went unsolved for decades, fueling more conspiracy theories than a Joe Rogan podcast marathon. Was it the Crips? Was it Biggie? Was it the Illuminati? For years, some people swore Tupac faked his death and was chilling in Cuba. Honestly, that might have been the healthier outcome. But Tupac's legacy? Untouchable. His music tackled systemic racism, poverty, police brutality. He was an artist, an activist, and somehow still found time to make California Love the eternal West Coast anthem. Even decades later, every rapper with a social conscience stands in his shadow. Tupac didn't just rap. He rewrote the syllabus of American protest music. Segment 8, Hurricanes, Collisions, and Uncle Sam. September 13th has its share of disasters, too. In 1988, Hurricane Gilbert tore through the Caribbean as the strongest storm ever recorded at the time. In 1997, a German Air Force plane collided with a U.S. Air Force jet near Namibia, killing 33. And then there's Uncle Sam Day, officially recognized in 1989. Because nothing says never forget like honoring a cartoon meat packer whose barrels got stamped U.S. and accidentally launched 200 years of propaganda. Gilbert was a monster storm, reminding us that nature doesn't care about your mortgage. The air collision was a grim reminder that even military precision isn't immune to human error. And Uncle Sam, well, he's basically America's mascot, proof that this country can take anything, even a guy who sold beef, and turned it into a symbol of destiny. Land of the free, home of the marketing team. So that's September 13th. 15-minute battles that change continents. Anthems written by slave owners. Marines storming castles for glory. Prisoners storming cell blocks for dignity. Leaders shaking hands while history crosses its fingers. Plumbers saving video games. Rappers saving culture. Hurricanes, collisions, and Uncle Sam grinning like he just sold you a used car. September 13th isn't just history. It's humanity in all its contradictions. And if you're keeping track, today's theme is this. We are both Mario and Montcalm, Tupac and Uncle Sam. Brilliant, tragic, resilient, and absurd. And sometimes all in the same 15 minutes.